Welcome, Ragnarok Smite League. We are here with some Midgard Division gameplay, the King's Court versus Heart Showers. I'm joined here today with Glacier by my side. What's up, Glacier? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going, man? It's been a day, but I am happy to be looking at some Smite. It's a
Yes,
little bit,
sir.
it's a little bit bittersweet to be looking at Smite 1 still. I love the game, I love the competition, I love this stuff, and it's just like every single time I look at a set, single time I do a VOD review, it's just like how many more of these do I have in me, you know?
Honestly, with the excitement around Smite 2, like kind of like kicking up from an all-time high after that Vegas land, I
Oh,
completely agree with you.
yeah.
But, we're still coming back here with some good old Smite Classic, Smite Prime. And we're going to be seeing some characters that are not in Smite 2 get banned away very, very quickly, which you're going to see Lancelot, Camazotz, Raven, Shock, and Amaterasu. Amaterasu is in Smite 2, but we're going to see these bans going very, very quickly. What do you think about these bans?
I think it's pretty standard. You don't really want to give up Rama. You don't really, or Ravana, excuse me. You don't really want to go Chalk from second place. And then I think into a really strong jungler. I think Veraxis has been known for kind of abusing the really hard to kill characters. So the Lance Camo bans make sense to me. Alma's kind of one of those characters that if ahead she can 1v9, if behind she's still just going to get to a point and she'll 1v9 you eventually. So they're just flying through these picks. Cullen picked up for Black Banan 69 BBB. Um, I want to say Cullen is one of those picks that like is never objectively bad, but it's interesting to see it first locked. Do you think it's first locked because they have no more prio, or do you think it's first locked because they want that much pressure in that lane?
I mean, I think they're looking towards this pick because, they want to get that pressure. They want to win that lane matchup. And what better to pair with winning a lane matchup than just giving your solo lane that's going to be hitting things constantly a Discordia passive. Discordia can be the third lock-in, well, I guess technically second lock-in here, but in that third lock-in slot for the order side of things. And Ganesha being hovered here, gonna be giving you a really good engage with a Ganesh cage. Also really, really great peel tools as well. Overall, this is a really, really solid top three, but I think we're looking towards this comp on order side mainly just again, it's Midgard. A lot of these players are going to be playing a lot of their comfort picks, things that they're just very well versed on. And you want to talk about comfort, something that's really easy to play. Big circles, Hun Bats gets locked in. A great combo here with Morgan Le Fay and this Terra, I think.
I agree. I think Terra's one of those characters that's, in my opinion, probably at the top of the meta right now. Now, there are
Mhm.
some pretty good counters into her in the Ganesha, in the Discordia, with the Silence, with the Apple. But Terra still may have the opportunity to run rampant. Morgan Le Fay, one of those characters that always wants to brawl. Hunbat's not necessarily a brawl character, but if you build some cooldown, I know Veraxis has been kind of testing a little bit of tech. With potentially going like a Hydra's crit build on this character. He's been liking it pretty recently, so it's going to be interesting to see kind of what route he goes in terms of build, but also in terms of where he wants to play. Is he going to play solo side and be ulting this Kukulin on cooldown? Is he going to try to be going for the Ganesha and pick him if he doesn't have Absolution or beads? I think they've got a really good pick comp in this mid series here on the Chaos side. Going into bans though, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with what Order already has, because Order has great initiation, great follow up, and they have a little bit of lockdown for the Terra. So what's going to follow up with that out of the jungle? What's going to follow up with that out of the ADC roles?
We're going to see an Awilix fall down into this band section as well. And then Charybdis, with her elongated head profile picture there, is going to end up finding her way into the band slot as well. Again, I think both of these make complete sense. You don't want to, have your Kukulin or your Discordia getting caught out on that leap with that Awilix ult. And Charybdis is just a very, textbook safe hunter. And I guess if you're trying to win pressure in that duo lane, you're already having to deal with Terra. Dealing with the safety of Charybdis on top of that as well might be a little bit too much for you to be handling. But again, I
I
mean, I
also think
think
it's a
both of
character,
these.
not to cut you off,
Hmm.
I think it's a
You're
character that
good.
Sax has played a lot. So I do think that's not necessarily a target ban, but it demonstrates a little bit of awareness of saying, hey, listen, this guy's either going to be all in or on the safest characters in the game. And I like taking the level one pressure, like you said, and that late game safety, like you said, because he is very comfortable on the pick.
Yeah, I think these picks and bans are really showing that both of these teams did their homework. Again, I think by the speed we flew through these picks and bans in the top three, got those top three bans out of the way as well. And as we're seeing these more researched picks falling into these picks and bans here, again another Hunter ban being Ishtar fall into the ban column, and obviously a Willix and Daji getting banned as well on the side of Chaos side. I mean, this just kind of shows you that these teams they came to play. They both these teams are here to win. They did their research. They watched the silver pair, the bronze bean tournament that we had last week for week one, and they came ready to play. And speaking about coming ready to play, Hachiman he gets locked in, ready to play on this Chaos side of life.
Talk about textbook hunters, man. We
Oh
got
yeah.
that Hachiman, and it's going to
Ooh,
be one of
spicy.
those things that has a good amount of follow up, a good amount of pressure, a good amount of late game, a good amount of scaling. There's never really a bad time to do a Hachiman unless you're just levels behind it. But if there's one character that can put you levels behind, if there is a skill differential in that lane, Hui is one of those characters. And I do want to take a second to highlight. I believe DJ L4 is this character, and he's someone that I played with years and years and years ago. He used to be a very good mid laner. He played a lot of the snipe gods, a lot of the skill expression gods, the Ulers, the Thoth. He was kind of known for the Ra. He was kind of known for even if it wasn't good, he'd be slamming those picks. It's interesting to
Yes.
see him here. Years later, obviously taking a lot of time off the game, so in a little bit of lower division, but then also sticking with that skill expression kind of character, the who you going for the bounces, going for the control, and I like this amount of follow up that's coming in. Their initiation is solid. Their counter initiation is solid. Their zone control is solid. Order side has picked a really easy to execute comp.
I like this. I like this lock-ins well. I mean, again, as you said, easy to execute. I think, making the game harder for yourself to win, I don't think is ever the answer. So just like locking in things that, you're comfortable with are really easy to play very well around, I think is completely a great answer. But this Nike is a very interesting answer. I don't know if I love it into the Ganesha silence, into the Ho Yi stun that can drop her shield, again, even into this Discordia kit, but at least the direct lane matchup, she won't be dying often if she plays it right into this Kukulkan matchup.
Yeah, that matchup's gonna kind of be one of those. I'm hoping that I'm gonna be allowed to clear and bounce kind of things. I think, and I don't think RoboCop or Ivory Macaron, as he's known as well, is a player that shies away from that playstyle. Definitely a very team fight focused player. And with that comp, I think they're looking for a very team fight focused comp. Terra Hunbats press four together, Nike zone as much as possible, take that apple to the face if possible. My one question for Chaos is I don't believe anyone under Masters plays Morgan Le Fay well. I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven
True.
wrong.
I want to see it.
But
I
that
want to see it.
character is a jungle roaming boxer brawler. I'm in your face. I'm where I shouldn't be. And at this level, it's a lot more of a slow game. It's a lot
Hmm.
more of a measured game. You're not rotating as much often. So it's going to be really interesting to me to see how much value we get out of this second pick, Morgan Le Fay, because they did prioritize it over a lot of very good picks. So that to me is going to be the linchpin of this chaos side, is whether this Morgan Le Fay can link up with the Terra ult with the Hun Bats combo, or whether the CC chain isn't enough and order sides just wham bam slam, I'm gonna press four at the same time combo just runs the game.
Yes. I mean, again, like you said, I mean, I wouldn't be proven wrong. I agree with you. I don't see a lot of really below masters players playing Morgan Le Fay very well. We can't see her in ranked because well, yeah, we can't see her in ranked. But
Unfortunate.
but I mean, again, I would still really like to see this character come out and have a really good showing. And going back, I guess to a couple of these matchups, Big Black Banana 69 versus RoboCop. I think they've played against each other before in OSL in the Creek division. I'm pretty sure that went RoboCop's way. If I might be mistaken, I might be thinking Fight Club as well. But I'm pretty sure they've at least battled each other before, and it was on very similar picks. But one pick that I think that RoboCop is a little bit more known for, you talk about this team fighting style. He's known for playing that like those big guardians, so the
Yeah.
Cthulhu's and stuff like
Yep.
that. I wonder what the conversation was. So where you get this big circle draft with Hun Bats, Morgan Le Fay, Terra ult to also keep you alive. I wonder what the conversation was that got him to that Nike instead of that Cthulhu that he's so known for going towards.
It'll be interesting to watch because what is Nike if not a physical guardian, right? Like she's got the
Mhm.
disarm, she's got the channel ability, she's got the giant shield. She is a survivor. She is a god that is there to create space and attempt to not die. It'll be really interesting to see exactly how this ends up going. Not in the lane just, but also as we rotate, as we go towards beacons, as we go towards pyromancers. It's gonna be really interesting. I think really though, the question of this game for me is can Ratatasker with his semi-global pressure impact the map enough that
Yep.
Veraxis on this pick that he loves so much
Yep.
can't run rampant? And that's what I'm looking forward to see as we load into the game pretty soon here.
Yep. 100%. Can he get active? As well. We're going to be seeing similar starts everywhere as well, in terms of builds and stuff like that as well. Is anything catching your eye here, Glacier? Is there a lane we should be keeping an eye on, maybe in the early game?
One thing that's really interesting to me is I don't see a lot of Terra players run with the Sentinels. But a lot of Terra players go for the healing, and a lot of Terra
Hmm.
players go for the War Flag for the pressure. And it doesn't look like this Terra player is really doing either. I don't think it's necessarily wrong. Don't get me wrong, but it's interesting to see that there's a little bit of a different style. Maybe not as much pressure, maybe not as much healing. More gonna be towards maybe the auras late game. We'll see how that kind of plays out.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, as you saw there on that wave, I'm used to seeing Terrors be a little bit more aggressive on this wave, but again, you're playing back, you're playing that sustained game. You're looking to maybe stun out some of the minions to group the waves here as well. But otherwise, that seems like they're just kind of doing some healthy support boxing here. You see Ganesha and Terra trading blow for blow here. Is when we see a nice grouping in the mid lane as well. Radtalker and Discordia seem to be getting some of that mid priority towards these mid rights as well.
And that's not really a surprise, right? With a Ratatasker level 2, it's you're not really looking to fight with a Hunbat, so I don't mind them looking for this. Now it's going to be interesting though for me if this is contested. It doesn't look like it's going to be contested, but Disco will still have Prio on the mid. Rat going to be looking for a cringe gank here in solo though. Will Nike use Leap to
Ooh, can
clear, or
they
will
get
they kind of
cringe?
get out?
Okay, again, Nike leaps away there, sniffs out the gank. It is going to be, put behind. They're going to have to give away those neutral camps as well. But Hunbats is going to be able to make this rotation to the side of the map. And now this pressure should be matched. Nike doesn't lose too much for it. But again, I respect the attempt. I respect the attempt of that gank there.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. A little bit of poke under the Hui, nothing crazy, just a little bit of an ability. And I really do want to see, and I don't want to harp on this the whole game, but I want to see this Terra get more active, man. Terra's such an aggressive character in this laning phase, and it looks like we're kind of just
Ooh.
playing to get out of the lane.
Speaking of aggressive, I see Hunbat making this rotation to the Cocola, and the Nike up down is not going to find a good knockup. The Monkey is going to fly past our window, a knockup, and an overhead smash going to also land onto the tower edge as well as a deflecting shield. Radsaucer is going to end up finding his back XP camp off of that gank as well. Hunbat is trying to sniff it out, and it seems like everything's stable for now unless we get active here on these mid rights.
And surely we don't fight this as bats. We kind of walk away, do our backs. And if I'm the rat, I'm almost thinking about invading those backs. To be honest, I'm level 4. I'm a level up. I want this pressure with rat stun, but it looks like they're
I
just
mean,
gonna try to confirm. They do confirm all
mhm.
3.
Yeah, I mean that's so good. I mean now you're just poised to just go back to your buffs. Rat's gonna hit level 5. Hunbat should still be level 4 by the time he has his ultimate. Maybe you look to get active there in that window. Duo buffs don't seem to be under any pressure as well. It seems like both duo lanes are kind of just handshaking in their lane. They just kind of want to get their own farm. They're not really getting too crazy, too experimental with it. Same thing, I guess, with solo laners as well. I think a lot of this pressure that's going to be dictated in this early game is going to come off the back of these junglers and see how these junglers are going to be, trying to play these ganks.
And with this being
Oh,
the
that's in the
first
air.
week of oh
I see him in mid lane. It's a 1 HP.
oh
Morgan Le Fay gets that ultimate off.
Morgan Le
Just
Fay
go.
heal.
Maybe the ricochet. Oh, it's barely off the mark, but a great attempt, a valiant attempt nonetheless. Oh man, Mad Duck nearly skips his life. Hunbats is still trying to get that farm. He's just ticked over level 5, but he doesn't have that full Jotuns like he would want to, before he drops that ultimate. But
Mm-hmm.
we do see maybe a good fighting chance here. This might be a good fight, and he dashes away. Oh,
Unbets
and we
does
see
have
Russians.
beads, or excuse me,
Oh,
rat.
this might be a good kill. Good beads and gonna end up getting away. But now that you see that back XP camp, that chest camp is going to end up falling down to the Hunbats. That shop, not a shop, just a nice little speed pad as well. Gonna also end up falling down to Hunbats as well. That's great. That's great if you're the Hunbats. I mean, you end up using your ultimate, you end up getting a relic for it as well. Your mid laner's not dead, but someone might be dead here very, very soon. Houyi, Ganesha trading on lots of HP. This Terra getting active in this lane. They're still brawling. Houyi up in the air. Hachi chasing afterwards. Terra holding onto that ultimate. Oh, it's so narrowly close. I wonder, it's like, if we press that Terra 4 key, do we end up getting that kill there? I think we do.
Potentially, it's close either way. But the one thing that I want to look at here, we still have horrific and ult for Ganesha, so I think they can go aggressive
Oh,
here.
they're getting active. You called it right. The Ganesha is going to end up dashing in. Beads down on Hachiman. Ganesha, his health bar is going to end up in the grayscale, but Hachiman's going to follow him quickly behind. Houyi landing these autos. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe because Ratatosker is here. Sends the nuts flying across the lane. Puts the support back in the grayscale to match the color schemes with their ADC. 3 seconds on that respawn on the ADC, but now we're getting active on the BDK side. Pressure is not being forfeited anywhere on this map. We lose 2 people on the left side of this map.
It's
Let's take
coming.
a Bull Demon. This is fantastic, but Discordia is saving it. Ooh,
Oh, what an
Flash gives
apple!
it. Oh, it's gonna be good enough, maybe.
Oh, but who's there?
Wait, did
Who's
it
there?
go?
Who's there?
Oh, Big Black Banana cleans up Varrox as the Hunbats. It's going to end up in the Grayscale as well with his teammates. It looks like we're still getting active on this Morgan Le Fay. We're not letting her go for free. Kokolin chasing down deeper into the jungle. Discordia following quickly in tow. Terra trying to offer as much peel as she can. Barely lived with a Discordia. Ricochet cleans up the kill onto Mad Duck. These mid rights are going to fall quickly after. The King's Court are just getting active here. This is fantastic.
And I love that response, not letting anything go for free. And this is something that we kind of have noticed, if you will, looking at this solo rotation early. The coup with the pressure over the Nike, getting the wave cleared first, getting those 2 kill involvements there. Great play. Gonna give him about half a level to maybe about a 3/4 of a level lead there. And that'll be interesting to see if he's able to snowball with rotations there. But on duo side, nothing really too crazy happening. People are going to go for their buffs. One thing that I did want to bring up, though, on this Ganesha, are you a fan of the Horrific, or do you think you may have gone beads here, or what are you thinking? Because I love the Horrific, but I don't know if it's in every game, no matter what thing. What do you think about it this game?
I think it's all right. I think it's fine. I do think there's other like really solid support options here in terms of relics. Again,
Mhm.
the that shell is going to be very effective at keeping your teammates alive. The sprint might be very useful as well. Maybe even like a bracer. Maybe even like a, if you want to get creative, get like a sunder for this Nike Shield late game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options you could be going in, but I don't hate the horrific. It's always just blanket okay if you
And
need
I
a
also
relic to
think it
go.
And I also think it does go well into the Terra ult healing if Terra gets aggressive with that 4 key. But just kind of like you pointed out in left, it looks like the Hunbets is back, but the Terra's just on buffs. I wonder what we're doing here.
It seems like we're
Are
trying to
we
get
going to look
aggressive
for?
here. The Hunbats is looking for an aggressive lead, but looks like we're calling out. The Hoyi has leaped in. The Hoyi is going to be ulting. Hachi sends an ult back, and Varrox is going to clean this up. A Beast gets used. An overhead slam is going to confirm that kill, but Rat seems like he's up in the air. He's not letting this go for free. Slams down onto him. Says 1-2, buckle my shoe, because I can't build boots. You can't either. Takes out Sweaty Sacks into the Grayscale as well. Cleans up the wave, and Terra's going to clap that wave. You're just going to try and confirm a little bit more of that farm, it seems.
I want to make a really cringe. I want to make a really cringe meme here about nah,
Oh,
fam. That's not okay. But speaking of things that aren't okay, Derby just deletes with the extra Ganesha ult. And I want to point out the absolute aggression from this Nesh in duo lane, holding the ult, knowing when to go in, getting that double kill with the rat coming over. Now in the mid lane, just being aggressive with this ult. I love this, and I know you as a Ganesha player, we have to love this aggressiveness.
Again, I love the fact that we're just not like peel botting on this Ganesha. We're trying to get active, and we've recognized that Morgan Le Fay doesn't have that movement ability that traditional mages are typically like kind of using to escape that danger. You drop a cage on her head, make it a little bit easier for this Discordia ult to find its target, and you just drop her. Yes, she has some increased movement speed with this tier 2 of Doom Orb. She's choosing to not finish it, which I think is a great play by her as well. But speaking of itemization, guys, Crit Rat is in this game. We have
Now that's
Bristlebush
criminal.
Acorn. We
That's
are gaming.
criminal.
Now, I mean, I
And
don't
it
hate
looks
it,
like
with
Hunbats is going crit too.
oh yeah, okay. So again, like with
With
with recent buffs to Rage, it's a 55 power item after you fully stack it. Again, I mean, I think Radtosker with that crit build might be very viable, but
oh,
Hunbat's
what
also
a
getting a rogue
steal!
crit. Oh my god, and they're just stealing the buffs away, and the shop's down too. And now
This
we're gonna
isn't
see this
over though. People are
chase.
looking for more.
Yeah, this chase is looking to come out here. The Cocolin's going to get a nice ultimate off to try and immune a lot of this, but Varrox is going to get this ultimate down, and we see a
Nice
solo kill happen on the
knockup.
left side. Oh
Rats
wait, we're not
here.
not solo kill. Rat is here again. Another crit onto that dash, confirming a kill, putting down someone else as well. Varrox and Sweaty falling down into the great scale about basically the same time. And now again, Ganesh is rotating out, getting active. Maybe you're looking for just again maybe some more buff invades now if you're on the King's Court. But if you're heart showers, how are you gonna like kind of stem this bleeding before this beacon fight starts? What are your
We
thoughts?
we've got to match the rotations, or we've got to stop rotating to their rotations, one of the two. Because every single time we look for a fight, we start the fight and it starts well, and then we're all of a sudden outnumbered. And that's happened
Hmm.
3 or 4 times now, just off the rip, where we're just all of a sudden, oh no, there's an extra body here. And there's a 2 level differential right now. This Ratatasker is hunting, putting a ward up there pretty high. Everyone knows exactly where that Hunbets is now, who you can farm in peace. I'm really liking the aggressive play from this Ratatasker, not taking any kind of I don't want to say ego, but there's a little bit of a reputation at stake here. There's a little bit of everyone thinks Frox is a very good player, and I would agree. But this Rat not afraid at all, 3-0, running it down, crit. I'm
Great
excited about the
Rat.
rest of this game, man. I'm really
No,
excited.
This is great, and I do see Varux is trying to, I think, get active on the solo side, mid side a little bit more often. But Rad is in the skies, trying to find his target onto his Hachimon. Hachimon gets a great ultimate out back to the safety of his tower, and I think that's going to be all she wrote for that one. But now we're going to see some teammates getting posture around this Bull Demon King side. Varux is in the back, looking to maybe get a little bit active here on the Discordia. She's going to end up dodging it. Disco Apples onto the backside as well. Hun Basses gets locked down by Ganesha, peeled perfectly, but Morgan Le Fay is swinging her sword into this team fight. Damage is being confirmed here. Terra gets that ultimate off. It ends up shooting the entire team here as well. Rattaucher is here, and he is critting. He dashes in,
That's a
but can they
huge
confirm
knockup.
any of the damage? No, they cannot. This fight's turned from bad to worse. Rattaucher is running for his life, and nah, fam, that wall's not going to connect. But we see the Ren coming over, and he gets a dash in just in time. No Jotun built, but he did not need the CDR from it quite yet. He's going to end up going back to base, but now this Bull Demon King is the first thing on the menu.
And it looks like it's going to go down pretty quickly here. No contest. Veroxis says, listen, if I'm going to be the sacrificial lamb, at least we're going to get some value there. Continues to commit to the cause. Pulls so many abilities right off the rip. And that allows for this fake isolation, if you will. Because when BBB69, when this Kikala went in, he was in with numbers. And then all of a sudden he was by himself.
Oh,
Oh, and speaking of by
solo
yourself,
kill?
Hachiman, I don't know
Possibly?
if you get to dodge in there.
Oh,
I don't know
no.
if you get to go in there.
Oh,
That's
no.
over.
Nah, somebody clip that and put that in Midgard beef right now because DJL4 has come to play. He is trying to pack up Sweaty Sacks and put him in a body bag. And here he is, just claiming these neutrals again and just keeping up this tempo that his team is setting up for him. He's gotten a couple ganks, gotten a little bit of assistance, but now he's up a level. He's about to back and, I guess, get that T2 item, maybe finish that. But he's going to also get this noticeable power spike getting a second relic in tow.
Yeah, and one thing that I do kind of want to point out here real quick here is with that Hunbats ult, the Hunbats finally got more damage
Going
than the
back
Terra.
in.
This Hunbats has not gone too hard, but now he's going crazy hard. He's getting chased though. Ivory Macaroon picks it up, and Rox is
Jungler for
shot.
jungler. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Again, jungler for jungler gets traded out, but now we just have DJ Ohm on the beacon himself. He's getting collapsed on by this Morgan Le Fay and this Terra. They are going to be able to respond to this. Terra's going to end up dashing in here. We see a little bit of poke here. Coming out as well. Morgan Le Fay trying to keep this space going strong. Ganesh is going to try and find a little bit more space if he can create it, but Terra's going to get a good ultimate off to keep this Morgan Le Fay in the fight. Ganesh Cage is going to come down quickly, but Nike is choosing to not rotate for this. As looks like they're opting to give this beacon and not lose too many lives. But sadly, I think the call was a little bit too late, and Cactus Arm's going to fall down. And now it looks like Gold Fury is the first thing that's getting pinged here.
And it does look like there's a bit of a differential here in specifically in the support role, where on back this Ganesh is going to be able to get a second relic. The Kukulin rotating over is such a
This thing's
huge
dying.
rotation.
It's
Is
going to
the
be close. They can
get
steal.
contested in time? It's going to
They
be
can steal.
close. Rat in the air, rat in the air.
Ooh. It's just barely close. Disco Apple off the mark, but now Rad is full committing to this Veroxis' life, and he's going to go down super, super quickly. Again, this Hunbats, he wants to get to this late game. He wants to be able to, press that 4 key and have a great impact on these team fights. But getting set back this much, 1, 5, and 3, compared to this early game Rattaucher who's just now going to be scaling even better in the late game with this crit build, this Rage seemingly, up next in this build. It's gonna be an uphill battle for sure for Heart Showers.
I agree, and not just an uphill battle, but I think there's like a little bit of a conversation that needs to be happening here about who's going in first. A lot of these fights, Roxas is going in first, and as a Hunbats, after you ult, you don't really have that much to offer to the fight. So I don't think it's necessarily always the correct thing. We've got to get a tank there, and the tank has to be active. This Terra has to be a little bit more active when the teammates are around, or this Nike has to rotate, or we just have to not be there. Speaking of rotations, though, Rat's gonna crit dash that blue buff, and it's gonna just disappear right away.
Seems like a BDK is up next on the menu as well. Kukulin, Rat are going to be able to take this down fairly quickly. Again, the crits on this Rat are going to find great purchase. But Rox is looking to steal this maybe with his ultimate. Not in quick enough, but DJL4 gets a solo kill. But here we're going to see the murder of Morgan Le Fay, possibly, and Aegis gets popped. Varux is in the mid lane. He leaps into the mid as well. Terra looking to peel as well. And now, I think they're just ready just to pull Pyromancer.
That should just be a free Pyromancer. Maybe Nike can contest a little bit, but I don't know if it's worth their time, to be honest.
Ganesha, yeah, again, Ganesha ult on this line. Here's what it just outburns this objective.
Double
Veroxis is
prot
here.
shred.
He is local, but again, a great Blinkle to keep this Veroxis Hunbats in check, keeping him out of range of this objective, confirming the first team. Great play by Big Black Banana.
Yeah, and at this point we are in oh no territory. The Ganesha is a level up on the Hunbats, who's built Rage. It's a stacking that requires kills, that requires brawling. And at what phase of the game are we going to be brawling into this Ganesha that already has his first two items finished, looking like he's going to go into Pride Win, looking like he's got the shell. He's going to be pretty hard to kill.
Again, this Ganesha, he's picked up a second relic, as you know, as we talked about. He has that power spike, and he's going to be able to go his starter upgrade as well. He has his shell, he has his horrific, so he's cutting a lot of this damage. He's reducing a lot of damage, shielding his teammates, shutting down a lot of what dive that the hard showers do have. This Nike's going to have a
Watch
very
out
very
in
hard time
left. Watch
getting
out in
active.
left.
Oh, but we
Watch
do
out in
see,
mid too. We got two
yeah,
fights
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, we see a fight happening here in mid lane as well. Discordia is trying to put down a lot of damage, but Morgan Le Fay getting a lot of her health bar ticked away. But Veraxis here on this solo kill and trying to not let his ADC die in vain. He's not going to die. DGL4 is going to end up falling down. Hachiman walks away with his life this time, and we're going to see an exchange of buttons and relics in this mid lane, and a tower probably in the pocket for hard showers.
Potentially. There is a lot of farm up. It looks like Brox is looking for the farm first. But Sweaty Sex should be able to push this down on the Hotchman with his banner stem. Both of these camps going to Vrox's is great to get him kind of back in the XP game, in the gold game, but they are going to lose this yellow Tiki on the other side. They potentially lose the blue buff. Is Ivory Macaroon in trouble?
Rats in the air. He looks like he can definitely be in trouble. Are we going to take this tower for him to tank it quick enough? Yes, we are. A knock up, good. A stun, not even needed. Iron Macaroon 55 is going to fall down into that grayscale, and now Batch is going to be pressured as well. We see Veraxis across the map just not able to respond quick enough. And that Nike's blue buff, it's free.
It is free. There is a little bit of a late rotation coming over, but I don't know that it's going to amount to much. The timing of that gank was phenomenal, with the ult still being down from the last fight, or from something happening in the lane. I'm not sure. But the comms there from the Kukulin calling him over, hey, I can tank this, we can kill it, it's no problem. Deathbringer first crit item for Rat.
I was
And
going to bring
you
it
know
up.
me. You know
I
how
was going to
much
bring
of
it
a
up.
Deathbringer hater I am. That is a 30 power item for almost 3,000 gold, and its
Yep.
passive is questionable until you get the glyph. However, he's 4-1-2. He gets to build what he
Yep.
wants to build.
Yep. I mean, while I would have loved to see a rat with rage, because again he has been getting so active, I think he would have a very easy time stacking that item as well. I don't hate the build here because again you do have a lead to play around with here as well. King's Court are gonna put that Gold Fury in their back pocket, and they're gonna start posturing around for this next beacon fight. They're big, they're strong, and it seems like Hunbat's getting poked out. Discordia also gonna find a great
The
target onto the
apple.
Terra as well. It's gonna spread to the Nike as well. Just a little bit of poke. It doesn't find the backline that it would like to connect with, but now you're going to see a lot of these cooldowns, refreshing here. This beacon fight is about to start here. And we see Verax is getting challenged here. A Beats gets forced here by both jungle and a ultimate on our back end as well. We're not going to have it, but Rat's going to get up into the air. We're getting active. Morgan Le Fay gets knocked up first. It gets knocked up for a second time. Aegis comes out this time. Nike gets a good ultimate off, and now this Ratatosker, oh no, he's overextended. His health bar hit 0 a little bit too quickly. And now this Kukulin, he's just front checking. He's face checking. He's front lining. And now it looks like Heartshores want to go back in. Veraxis is lurking in this jungle on this left side. He wants to get active. No ultimate for him, but that's not going to deter him as well. This Ganesh silence is already down. Kukulin seems to like to be the primary target, and the beacon's going to get capped by DJ Ohm. That's our own boy, but Nike's going to connect with the Disco Apple, and Sweet Sax is going to get revenge on the dual lane. POV, we're going to pan right back to mid lane, and Ganesh Cage is going to get dropped as well, and a weak T1 tower looks to be like it's on the menu. Terra gets poked out quite a little bit, and it seems like we are officially done with the chaos. It seems like both teams want to reset after that.
Resetting is for weaklings. Do a pyromancer. Do
Oh,
a tower. Get in
Get
there.
in there. Oh, and
Oh,
Verax
but
is
there's a
does he
blink.
have
There's a blink.
it's good enough. The silence is good now. Just good enough to get your mid laner out of there, get him out of dodge. Again, great peel by Bluey here on this Ganesha, recognizing the threat and just shutting it down when it, I guess pops up in his face.
I wanted to kind of point something out earlier that I really, really, really like. This Discordia did not go Divine Ruin, which is on the
Mhm.
face of it, you're into a Terra, you're into a Morgan Le Fay. What are we doing? Right? Divine
Right.
Ruin's nuts. However, Ganesha has Contagion Horrific. I really like this. I don't know if that's completely on purpose. I don't know. I don't know if that's a conversation that they had or what. But the leadership and the awareness from this Ganesha to say, listen, if we're not building a divine, I'm going to get the anti-heal. I'm going to apply it really easily in these fights. He has been consistently shutting down anything that this Terra wants to do. And in that counter matchup that he's got, he's 4 levels up. He's so tanky. He's so aggressive. He can do anything he wants to do.
Speaking about being 4 levels up, he just finished that starter. He opted to not go compassion. He went heroism. So then
And
again, just more peel, more survivability to this backline that maybe he's gonna be standing next to. If Terra procs that root on her dash, breaking her obelisk, it's gonna give the backliner next to him a shield, and that's gonna just let them survive this dive a little bit longer.
that's interesting to me. I think there's value to be had from Heroism. I don't think it's always a bad starter, but it is noticeably the only support starter, correct me if I'm wrong, that doesn't actually have prot on it. It's just like, what,
Uh-huh.
300 health?
Yep. 350
350
health.
health.
Yeah.
350 health. So it's interesting as a Ganesha, you're a very utility focused character. You're oh,
Ooh. Speaking of utility, the Hunbat's ult is going to come with a swing and a miss from the Disco in response, but it seems like that's just all it's going to be, an exchange of buttons. Rat's lurking. He wants this Hachimon, and it seems like they're trying to call a fight in his mid lane. Maybe they can collapse, but I think they just, yeah, they're pinging the Rat. They do see where he is. He's on that ward, and it seems like nothing much is going to come from that exchanging of abilities happening in mid right now.
this Terra is taking so much damage from the Discordia combos. The only look at that. That's just from a 2. Disco's
Yeah.
2 is not supposed to deal damage until you get your ADC critting you late game, but that's besides the point. But this
This
Wingblade being the only match defense item so far, other than the match prot that's going to be on Gauntlet, it's interesting. I like it. You're into the Ganesha ult, you're into the horrific, so I don't hate, you know, but would you think that it's value to double up with the Wingblade and a sprint, or do you think maybe like a Heartward or a Oni Hunter's Guard may have gone a little bit harder here?
I think maybe like an Oni's could have been a lot more useful here, but I mean, I'm also seeing that Derpy on the screen has opted to go fourth item Tablet of Destinies. So eventually, with enough abilities hit, that's going to be true damage. So
And
maybe
this
you
is
just
the
don't even build macro
contested.
defense.
Apple comes out. Apple comes out. King's Court does get it. I'm not sure what got it, but we are jumping in. Ivory Macaroon on the backline
The
by
fight's getting
himself.
chaotic. It's
Terra's
getting
coming.
crazy. Oh man, and then you see Hachimon, you see Veroxis on this backside. Veroxis are getting popped no matter what,
Got
but
in there.
Veroxis is gonna have to try and kite back. But this rat is hovering. He's in the air. He's looking for a good engagement. He's gonna end up trying to get out of here. They got the gold here. They're trying to get out, but can they get out with all of their things in tow? Kokolin's about to Hulk out. That rage is about to Hulk out right there. Hunbat is going to leap away from him. Kokolin trying to get onto this target. Nike has leaped in,
Kokolin
has
coming back
saved the
on the right
jungler,
side. The
but now
Rat.
they're gonna collapse. Rat gets one kill. That's a rage stack. That's Ivory Macaroon down into the great scale as well. This Hydra's proc is going so crazy for the Rat Tusker. Now they're looking to chase out this Hachimon. They're pinging him. They have the speed, and now it's just a matter of time before this Hachimon gets collapsed on.
And the calls from King's Court, obviously we can't hear them, but the amount of skill it takes to get in and out. But speaking of in and out, this Hui is not going anywhere
Getting
anytime soon. He
active.
is aggressive. He is in there no matter what.
I like the idea. First of all, they just again
Speaking
confirm
of
that. But I
ideas,
love the call to just take the teleporter, say whatever they're 1 HP. Let's just do
Terra
fire,
knows.
guys. Again,
Terra
Terra's the
knows.
only person that can really face check this. Terra doesn't have a bum to try and secure this
Disco.
either. The only thing that you have here is hopes and prayers if you're this Terra. And realistically, they have enough damage to turn those hopes and prayers into well wishes with like a thoughtful card. This Fire Giant's going to be going down about 22:45 into the game. King's Court going to put that firmly in their back pocket, and it looks like they're going to be trying to reset back to base.
And again, this is just a question of getting the objective, disengaging perfectly. Every single objective they manage to get, there's a late response from Heart Showers, and they just get out. And then if they want to take the fight after they're out and they reset and they take their things the way that they want to, they can for free. But we're going to start to see some squishy starters being upgraded. Rat level 20, opting for the T2. Heartseeker looks like over finishing the Boombas. We got the Pendulum on the Disco, and it looks like I wouldn't be surprised if he has enough gold to go get his item. I wonder if he'll go the pen or if he'll go the. He does go the pen. He's got his full Titan spin online. So yeah, we're gonna. They just got fire. They just bought
Mm-hmm.
so many huge items. This is about to get really, really hard for Heartshores. They're gonna have to group. They're gonna have to look for a pick. They're gonna have to do something on the map aggressively, or else this is gonna end very soon.
Hard Showers did just put a Pyromancer in the back pocket, but it seems like again they were split pushing that right lane. They are not here to defend their mid T2 tower, and it seems like again King's Court are marching forward. They are surging forward. Coco surging forward towards this bird as well. They are 5 strong. It might just be a very chaotic 5v5 fight. Again, you have this Hun Battle for defense. You have this Nike ult to try and keep you alive if you're diving to counter. And it seems like King's Court recognized that. It seems like they just don't want to take a 5v5 siege, even though they have their fire in their back pocket. They don't want to even try and chance that going wrong. They're gonna
I'm
back
gonna
up,
be
they're gonna try and
honest.
strip some farm, and maybe just look for another engagement.
I'm gonna be honest. I love that. We're
Mm-hmm.
into a Terra Hunbats alt. If something
Morgan Le
goes
Fay
wrong, the
damage.
Phoenix is gonna be the time it goes wrong. If one
Oh yeah.
person gets picked, the Phoenix is gonna be the time that they're gonna get picked. So resetting, playing, pushing all the waves up, getting a little bit of a split going potentially. I really, really like that. Finishing some items, and I do want to point out, it looks like the Rat did go ahead and sell that T2 Heartseeker. I don't know if he was listening, but he did finish that Boomba Spear. And so he does have a little bit more to work with. It looks like they might go ahead and kind of split up the map, push left side with this Ganesha. And the Ganesha still 5 levels up, man.
Yeah.
This is such a big differential. And a lot of times support differentials don't matter that much. But if you got 5 levels, that's so much health. That's so many base prot. That's so much scaling that is going to
Mhm.
make such a big difference on these sieges. Terra just simply cannot face check these squishies, whereas Ganesha, not a worry in the world.
Exactly. It's super, super difficult, I think, for Hardsharks to really do anything, even on like a defensive front right now, unless they're playing inside their bird. I like the King's Court, again, recognized that earlier. They said that, we don't have the greatest 5v5 seats. Let's back it up, let's try it again. But now we're trying to siege this left bird here. We see Ratty's hovering between these two birds. We're going to see some damage possibly get exchanged here, but Kokolin seems to be matching this mid bird, and Rat's right here with them ready to dive in as well. We're pinging this Hachimon. We're pinging these waves, but Hachi's going to be able to manage these waves very, very easily. This oboe
And
picked up for him as well is going to help him with a little bit more of this lane clear.
and there are 2 bombs on the side of King's Court. And King's Court, one more time, they're saying if it don't look good, we're not doing it. They've played them out so clean thus far. They've got a little chaotic. They've got a little active. They've made every once in a while a little bit of a hee hee play. But in terms
Oh
of the
yeah.
macro, in terms of the way that the map has been controlled, this has been a really good performance. It's been an impressive performance. And I want to say one more time, it started with the rotations from this coup. This Cucullin and this Ratatosker, the stats wise don't necessarily show it. It looks like this Discordia is having the game of her life, and I do think she's having a great game. But the tank difference so far in these rotations specifically, not mechanics, not game sense, just grouping up well, has been such a huge difference maker for the King's Court.
I think this is just kind of like one of those times where you have to realize that this is a draft league, and some teams just don't have that synergy built yet. And it seems like Kings Court are not struggling in that department at all. It seems like they've been playing together for seasons. It seems like they have a very, very clear game plan of what they want to do, and they are executing it flawlessly. The only question mark we have now is, can they break the base? They have 2 bombs in tow. They're looking to possibly get a third one here as well with this Pyromancer spawning very, very soon. But if they can get one clean siege, this game's over.
But on the other hand, if they don't get that clean siege, Heart of
Oh yeah.
Shores has a lot of ability to push. Now, their ADC is 1 in 5,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's level
He's
20.
level
It
20.
doesn't
He's
matter.
level 20. Exactly. Yeah.
As
Yeah.
soon as he finishes the silver intro, it does not matter. And it looks like potentially we might have a pause rolling out here. We're gonna take a look at this Huyi just to verify that he's
Oh
not
yeah.
going anywhere. But yeah, I want to say, as much as they have played this so well so far, it's only a 10K difference. One
Mhm.
huge pick, one huge fight, and this game could be flipped on its head.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Again, we're about to be fighting over this next fire giant. Depending on how this fire giant dance goes, it might tick over into EFG territory. We might be on the cusp of just like one bad fight and then you lose the game. So yes,
And
they've
look
played
how
this
much
game
vision
very,
there
very
is from Red
well.
Side.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they again, Red Side like Hard Shores, they have not given up yet. Like they like yes, like they've had a really really rough like early mid game, but again, like look at all of this vision around this fire pit. This is first of all, this is nuts for Midgard. Um, but again, like they are not giving this fire for free. They have a very very clear game plan. I think the call here is, guys, if they pull fire, we're fighting and we're banking it on that firefight.
See, I'm not sure with how much TKC has been afraid, if you will, or cautious about sieging. I'm not sure if I would int at this fire giant. There's too many things that can go wrong. Rat Coup on our backline, and there's not really that much appeal from this level 16 Terra. She doesn't have shell. She doesn't have more than the 2 auras. As we continue to fight this, I don't know. I think left side has a better jungle brawl.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I think like I think both comps are very very good here. But again, like this Heart Showers draft, as long as that fire jumps on EFG, I think I'm fine playing under Bird.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm like super like, oh, if they push our Bird, like the game's over. If they get just a standard fire giant. Now once
Yeah.
it's EFG, I think that's when you got to try and get a little risky.
Yep. Looks like we're going to go ahead and unpause here, get back into the action. But the other thing that I do want to point out before we take this fight, Hachiman has to finish his pen item. That's
Oh
a
yeah.
non-negotiable. If we are going to all in here, I want my hunter to have pen for sure.
Yeah. Once that becomes Silver Branch Bow, Hachi's going to be dealing infinitely more damage to this Colin who's been face checking him. Again, Bluey who's been, optimizing into these, high health items, these, mutual, pot splitting items as well. And, he might just be able to, do really good objective damage on top of it if they get a really good clean fight. But now, 3 bombs on the side of King's Court. I mean, That's hard. That's a hard Fire Giant steal to pull off if you're Heart Showers.
It really is. I'm not gonna lie. But with that being
Oh,
said,
good poke.
there's still a bunch of things to play for. Good poke on the Ratatasker. And honestly, if I'm Heart Shores, I might just try to push mid while they do this Fire Giant. Send one person to kind of delay as long as possible and just throw up waves.
Yeah, it seems like the health bar of the Fire Giant has gone up. The firewalls are up. It seems like a dance is being crafted, but Veroxis is behind them. Can this be a really good fight,
And
or
they
will it
know.
go south?
He's on a
We got to
ward. He's
see.
on a ward.
Rat is in
Rat's
the
in
air.
the
He's
air.
hunting
He has no
Veroxis,
leap. He has no
possibly.
leap.
Good blink to get out of dodge there. The Ganesh ult to try and lock down some members. And now the Fire Giant pit has been kited out of. A fight has broken out on the Heart Shore side of the jungle. But Terra is trying to dash in. She's going forward, trying to put some walls up. And her health bar is going down, but not quick enough. She gets her ultimate off. And now we see a chase happening. Derby Bates falls down as well first. Now we see Ganesha trying to silence his opposition into the dirt. We see Hoyi getting that shell off. But Terra still getting active, playing with their Hachimon. This Hachimon isn't so deep. But we see a fight. Big Black Banana does fall down. And Nodfam is going to put Sweaty Stacks into the Grayscale as well. But the 3-for-1 trade so far, they are surging forward. Ganesha is going to be possibly the target here. No, it's going to be a reset call. Great defense by Heart Showers.
Hey, 2 more heart stacks, 2 more rage stacks, 2 more
Ooh.
little bits of power. Let's get in there. And that was such a good disengage blink from Veroxis. I don't want to glaze. I don't want to spend time just like, oh my goodness, that was so crazy. But that changed the fight. If he dies to start that fight, it's just GG. There's no question. There's no answer. It's just GG. So really good play from Heart Shores to stay in this game. There's a lot of vision from both sides. What's going to happen? It looks like Nike's already going to pull.
Yeah, I mean, again, I like the confidence here. You have a Hun Bats for your DPS. You know, they have 3 people dead. You know, Discordy is walking out of base. Terra
We
has
got
vision
Raven
in mid lane.
wards.
This is fine. I mean, like, this is really good. If your
But
Hun
can
Bat
they do
sticks
it
this, if
before?
anyone shows up, they have ults. But Hoyi's going to try and make his way into the pit here. He's going to be on a ward. Terra's going to be able to face check him here, but Nike is going to be inting her health bar away. We see the leap go away, but now, Big Bug Banana is TP to the ward behind them. Veroxis is dead. Morgan Le Fay is dead. Possibly, maybe he should be. Now he's dead. Mad Duck ends up into the grayscale, and Kakulin is running them down. He said, "You guys put me down. I had 3 of you on me in the last fight. I'm going to make sure that my team does not lose Fire Giant this time." A fantastically timed teleport is going to give King's Court the opportunity to pull this now enhanced Fire Giant. EFG, we are so back in the game.
And this is as free as it's going to get for the rest of the game. There's not going to be a better fire pull. Q zoning, red zoning. This is just complete domination. Hachiman did not have a chance. 30 seconds on both relics, and it's just over for him. I wonder if they'll be able to end, or if Verox is coming back up and Mad Duck coming back up in time will be enough. Because this could get spicy.
I think at a minimum you're losing 1 bird. You may possibly losing 2 birds here. Again, that bomb's going to confirm the bird's probably going to go down here. And now the tank's going to find a Discordia Apple. She's going to be in the grayscale with her backliners. Nike not being able to tank enough. My whole brain just shut down from that phenomenal dive there. And the Titan might be the next thing to shut down here as well. Again, Notfam's gonna go down. Verox is trying to save the game. He's not trying to go out of this without a fight. But Verox is gonna go back to Fountain, ending the game at 4-8-4. And King's Court are going to end up winning that game. Just a great game.
That was a really clean game for this division, specifically around the objective play from blue side, from King's Court. The objective play was so good. Rat didn't have that much damage, only 12k, but the amount of impact the ults had, the amount of impact the deletions had, it's deceiving the amount of damage he did.
I mean, again, like this Ratatosker, he got active, you know, with that crit acorn, that Deathbringer, that Hydra's proc. You know, like if he got lucky, someone just kind of popped. He got very active early in the game, really shut down the pressure that Veroxis was, trying to bring. But Veroxis didn't have like a horrible game. By numbers, he outdamaged his Ratatosker. He got some kills. He got the most kills on his team besides Morgan Le Fay. I think realistically, you go for it. You got it.
No, you're good. I really think the issue for Veroxis that game was he consistently had to jump in without a tank pulling abilities first.
Yeah,
I
I
really
agree.
think that's the number one issue there. If he's given the freedom of having abilities down so he can work in peace, that game's a lot easier for him. So it's going to be interesting to see between this game 1, between this game 2, if they make the adjustment and if they say, listen, we can get more active, we can face check these guys, because the fights mechanically were even. It's just a question of how do we play the map a little bit better? How do we get ahead of these rotations, and how do we not consistently be a man down early game? It'll be interesting to see if they're able to kind of make that adjustment.
Again, I'm super excited to see these teams play this game too because that Fire Giant fight was so back and forth. It was first it was Heart Showers, then it was King's Court, then it's Heart Showers again, then it's King's Court again, and I wonder how that fight would have looked if Heart Showers were not 10k gold down going into it.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to see them clean up that early and mid game. I want to see them clean up their objectives, but I want to see King's Court just hold on, like keep their foot on the gas pedal. They played phenomenally. They know what they want to be doing with their draft style. They're executing their game plan on the field. I just want to see them stick to it.
Absolutely. And I want them to continue to just play this chokehold map style. I loved the semi-global from the Ratatoskr. I love the pressure from the Colin. I love the peel and the aggressive initiation from the Ganesha. Overall, a really good game.
Yes. Well, will the Harshowers be able to bring it back in game two, or will we see just a blowout, a 2-0 out of the King's Court, establishing their claim to the throne? Catch us here in game two, here very, very soon. Dynamite League enjoyers. We're here with you in game two. I'm again still joined by Glacier. How you doing, man?
It's good to be here. It's good to be here. I'm looking for more crazy action this game. I don't want to
Yeah,
see either team take their foot off the pedal. I'm gonna be honest. I just want them to get in there.
yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think last game was a bit wild, especially towards the end, towards that Fire Giant fight. But again, we saw King's Court play that so well. They have namely switched sides. King's Court's going to be on that Chaos side now. Heart Showers opting to take that Order side. They're opting to take that first pick. And it seems like they don't want to deal with that Cucullin. And it seems like that Lancelot's not going to find his way into this game either.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see that Kirkland ban. I don't think it did the most stats wise, but in terms of indelible game impact, that
Yeah.
pick was so big. The amount of prio he got in that lane, the amount of times he got Ivory low enough that he couldn't rotate. I think it was just such a great played pick, and it's something that he's kind of known for. So I don't hate them getting rid of it. They're gonna ban the Ravana from topside. That's very interesting. That kind of suggests to me that maybe they don't necessarily want it, maybe they don't necessarily want to flex it. I'm not sure what the situation is, but they're not interested in seeing it get into this game. They'd rather play with other characters.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I wonder what you're trying to what you're trying the first pick here. It seems like that Xbalanque is not going to be what they're trying to first pick either. So again, that Robin, that Cucullin, that Xbalanque are going to be off the table from this first pick side of life. And now again, it's up to the King's Court to see what character they want to allow into the game. And Amaterasu is not going to be that character. She is going to
That
end up
leaves
catching that
Chalk
third
open.
ban. Chalk is open, and Chalk gets hovered. Is Ivory Macaroon 55 going to lock in the Chalk? Yes, he will. Chalk, namely a very pronounced god in this meta, super tanky, super hard to box and lane, really great at team fighting. He does it all right now, at least in my opinion, except maybe Objective Shred. He doesn't do that.
And he does it all in two roles. I want to point out that Chungle is a valid pick, man. It gets a lot of
Mm-hmm.
pressure, especially into characters that don't really have that much mobility. Discordia does have the leap, the iframes, but I personally don't really regard Discordia leap as a movement ability. I regard it as a potential iframe. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be interesting to see if this chalk goes the damage route in jungle or if it goes the tank route. And so either way, it's a good character. But then we got Sky God, man. We're just
Yep.
our main gets
Yep.
banned, so we're going to Sky God. Really,
Yep.
really.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Discordia run back here. I think Nofan played it, not Nofan, but Derby Base played it phenomenally in game one with a semi interesting build. But this Wukong also just again like you're trying to match that pressure. Sun Wukong is very likely to end up taking away that Discordia passive. Maybe you're going to try and bring some of that hurt to the shock.
Yeah.
And then we see the sisters get hovered. Charybdis and Scylla. They're not in your rank queues, but they are in this game, it seems. Both are getting locked in on this order side. Again, I think Matt Duck looked really good on the Morgan Le Fay, but maybe a mage with a little bit more mobility than that Morgan Le Fay. That's Scylla. Might be a better option for what they're looking for. And Charybdis, just super safe, super annoying.
I think it's going to be really interesting to see. I, oh, there is an interesting switch here. I did just notice. It looks like there is a different mid laner. So Mr. Godzilla playing mid game two for the Heart Showers. It looks like rather
Hmm.
than Mad Duck. So that whole performance
Hmm.
last game. Oh, and that was banned last game. We're into the Scylla.
Ay.
We don't really have too many crazy knockups yet. Wukong. I do happen to know Bluey is a Bacchus enjoyer, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what the bans come out. But we have a
Ooh.
third pick, Wheelish. That was banned out last game. Was
I
there a
like it.
reason?
I like it. I like it. I mean, like obviously it's really good in Scylla. Like if you gank Scylla, she has the beads while she's like dashing, or like leaping slash dashing underground away. It just puts a ton of pressure on this mid laner. I mean, if you don't want to let her exist in this early and mid game, this is a great pick to kind of accomplish that. Hun Bat's getting banned out. Again, Veroxis, I think he played it pretty well. I think he just struggled to get active in that early and mid game portion, but towards that late game, it started, really showing that he was very comfortable in the pick. I don't hate King's Court taking it away from him. Sobek being banned away by Heart Showers. I mean, Sobek comboed with the Willix. I mean, that's pretty standard, right?
Been
And
there,
then
seen that.
Ratatoskr. Yeah, and then Ratatoskr gonna get banned away. So Veroxis is not gonna have access to play that god either. I think Veroxis has played it really recently as well. I think he played during the tournament as well. So again, just a good shout out there. But I mean, like you said, I like to see maybe this Bacchus get banned away. If hard showers know, if they're knowers,
What are
something
we
with like
looking
a
at?
really easy knockup.
It's like we're thinking Bacchus
Oh,
Ganesha get, right? And the Ganesha was played last game, so they banned the Ganesha. It does have a little bit of appeal. Maybe it locks down the support we're thinking about. But fourth pick here, it's open. Geb's open.
yep.
Capri's open. Yamoja's open. There's a lot of
Capri.
really good support characters that are available right now.
Never tempt me with the Kepri lock in. I like the character. I don't think that's really a secret. But yeah, like please lock in the beetle. I crave the beetle. I fiend for the beetle.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I mean
feeling the
honestly, like
Bacchus here. I think the
yeah,
Bacchus
I mean
maybe late game into a curve to Sill with that amount of pressure, that amount of safety, it might feel pretty like eh.
hmm
But I think the amount of pressure it gives with the Discordia passive, with the Wheelish roaming around, with the Wukong really kind of being an ungankable character, it might
yeah.
allow them to play really, really heavy in this jungle.
Yeah. I mean,
Who's bro?
oh, I mean that's spicy. I like it. I mean, again, gets active just like we were talking about. This Bacchus getting active has a knock up on his ultimate. You know, it's a little bit short form, but you can still combo Willis ult off of it. It is very doable. Again, the Charybdis is not going to have a fun time trying to trade into a Kuzenbo either. If he gets on top of her, he's just going to keep running at her, and you know she really can't fight back the same way she would be able to, you know, on terms of other supports.
And it's
So I like
important
the
to
lock
think
in.
that it's important to kind of realize as well, kind of what we talked about just a second ago. It scales better than the Bacchus does, in my opinion. So
Yeah, agree.
it's very good, and it shuts down a lot of the best supports
Capri.
that are open. Kepri's okay here. I don't think Kepri's ever incorrect, right? But I don't think Kepri's going to be able to get too active into a Kuzenbo, Wheelish Discordia. That Kepri's going to
Mhm.
need to have a lot of awareness. And last game played a little bit passive. So
Right.
I think he can play that style for sure. He demonstrated it the last game. But it'll be interesting to me to see how much of an impact he's allowed to have. And I was thinking about potentially the Pele matchup into the Awilish, into the Disco. I didn't really want to yell about it because it's a character that we don't see a whole lot, but we do see it locked in here. Verox is going to be going this Pele. Pele Kepri, a tale as old as time. What a good jungle support combo, but can they get active into the amount of pressure Chaos has? And Chaos still has a pick here. All the good ADCs are open. All the pressure ADCs are open. All the late game ADCs are open. Just Expo's banned.
Yeah. I think, I mean, again, like you're never gonna see me smack talking a Capri lock in, but I don't know if this is the game for a Capri lock in. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of things on this Chaos side, on this King's Court side, really like just target Capri. They shut him down very easily. Again, this Discordia combo is gonna probably find this Capri a lot. Kuzenbo's gonna be disrupting him in these team fights. If he's diving, you know, Capri in a backliner, Capri's gonna have a very hard time getting that ultimate off unless he tries to buy beads or Mad Guys or Absolution or something like that.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea with this Pele getting active, running it down, and Kepri bringing her back to safety. I do like this. I think it's just gonna all come down to the execution of both comps, honestly.
And I love the on her lock. I do want to point that out. Pele ults in. You drop your pillar at your feet and you knock her back away from you. Or you just leap up and you knock her
Mhm.
away from you, and then you two. There's so many options on her has to counterplay a Pele. There are not that many ADCs that love playing against the Pele. Don't get me wrong, she's a very good trade character, especially with that Keprelt move speed. We saw him build Erendite last game. I wonder if he'll do it again this game. He'll be hard to lock down for sure. But if there is a character that can do it well, Onher's probably one of the better ADCs at playing into that matchup.
Yes, I mean, obviously everyone knows on her pillar is super obnoxious to deal with. You know, so like in team fights that could be very chaotic if DJ ends up playing it very well. You know, but honestly, my eye is gonna be on Mr. Godzilla here. You know, he's subbing in for this game too. Let's see if he's the difference maker.
I think my honestly is on this Kuzenbo for two
hmm
reasons. Number one, I think it's just a pick that we don't see a whole lot, so it's very interesting. Number two, someone gets Zenith on the line. We've got an ugly Kuzenbo again. It's
Oh
gonna happen.
no.
I hope it happens. This Kuzenbo is one of those characters that players at this level specifically tend to struggle with because especially with the thorns and the shell spikes, the amount of damage output, especially if he goes like a pen item or a binding or something like that, is deceptive. You can end up fully ruining your health bar without realizing it until it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, no, I mean, I agree. You know, if they don't really, you know, if they don't realize and, you know, pace themselves during these team fights, you know, of like the damage that Kuzenbo could be doing, it could be catastrophic
Yeah.
for the backline to say the least.
And then the Awilish as well. Awilish is one of those feast or famine characters. Um, of all of the Awilish games of all time, this is a really good one. You can backlit the Pele knockup. You have a lot of good pull targets. You have a lot of knockups on your team. It's not by any means a bad Awilish game, but I'm an Awilish hater. I think late
Mhm.
game that character does so little unless you have perfect setup, perfect execution. At this level, that's hard to pull off. But it'll be interesting to see which team gets pressure, which team gets priority, because I think I don't want to say that's the only game plan from King's Court because they do scale fine. It's okay-ish, but they definitely said after last game we are running at you.
Right. Well, I'm excited to see. Yep. Oh man. Awesome. I mean, I'm excited to see these two team comps play out. I think this is going to be very, very interesting. What lane should we be keeping our eyes on first? Where do you think first blood's going to happen?
Where do I think first is gonna happen?
Mm-hmm.
I really think these junglers are going to get active. I hope anyway that these junglers are going to get active. And then my second choice would be if this Kuzenbo can play. This Kuzenbo on her is going to be so oppressive if they play it correctly. War flag on both supports. Khepri with cloak. That is a
Yeah.
choice.
I mean, I guess we can stack prophetic, kind of. But hey, Kuzumbo has vibrant shard, so he's gonna throw that kappa, and you're gonna take like 80 damage, additionally from it. So like that's kind of nice. That's kind of cool.
Mhm. And he did start Blink, so he doesn't have a support, a quote unquote support starter. Jungle's
Mhm.
meeting now, kind of doing the little stare off. Kuzenbo, the pressure from the curve, just the priority on the wave, does mean that this lane is going to take a little bit to get active. But with this still being poked, it looks like there's going to be a small amount of priority potentially for this Discordia again. One more time, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we do see. I guess it was like a little bit of health traded there as well, so they get poked out a little bit. But she's healing up. She has those health potions ticking. Discordia only has one health potion left actually, and now we're gonna see Kepri trying to get these last two wards down, warding his dual lane. He does not want to get ganked. He's very anti-gank here. But we do see the red side. They're gonna end up trying to prioritize those right mids, and we see Heartshores prioritizing those left side mids, and we see a Willix setting him for a gank and solo side.
We've seen this before.
I think Shock's aware. I think he's noticing, but maybe he doesn't. We're gonna see if the two comes out. We see the blink come out. A good knockup is gonna confirm. And Tiger Sun hits a minion instead, and it seems like Ivory Macaroon is going to live to tell the tale of the Tiger Sun hitting the brute minion.
That's a travesty. That is absolutely a travesty. Pele's gonna be full health here though. They can brawl a little bit if Chalk heals up a little bit here. But speaking of brawl, this
Uh
Kuzubo is
oh,
not done anytime soon. Kepri taken under 200.
really
The jump in
good
on her, that's
shell,
gonna be a shell. But Kuzubo's also getting damage on the
good
backside,
impale.
and that is gonna be the first blood. Kuzubo on her. What did we say? They got active, man.
Oh wait, oh that's such a good blink out of the Kuzumbo right there. An amazing reaction time from Sweaty Stacks to be able to beat that before getting shoved through an entire wave and maybe getting impaled into a wall. I mean, it could be worse. Well, actually, wait. Check Kepri's build really quick. He's going Cloak of Concentration.
She's going Spirits Room or
So,
Mantle.
you could
Okay.
leave that at T2 for a long
Yeah.
time and just go a different item. And I don't think that's bad at all. And
Well, this
also,
guy
that's
doesn't
old
have beads when he
Charybdis
gets
3.
out.
Yeah, listen, if that's old Charybdis 3, so it doesn't see community, I'm pretty sure the Charybdis is just dead right there. Kepri's trying to prioritize their duo side farm, and then Willix and Pele are trying to scrap in the jungle. Scylla's rotating over as well. Willix is trying to run for her life. Neither one is level 5, but we do see Solana being able to rotate out and get that heat off of the Willix. No pun intended.
And are both of these players going to play their own blues? It looks like Ivory Macaron wants to get a little bit aggressive here.
Looks
Nah,
like it.
just dropping a ward. Not interested in the T yet.
Yeah, but we do see again both buffs look like they get secured there by hard showers, which is really really good. They're trying to figure out who can pick it up, and Kepri does not use his big beetle body to pick up the purple buff. I'm so disappointed.
That's a really good play from him. I'm not exactly sure how it got, exactly what got confirmed by who, but not losing
Hmm.
either of those buffs into this much
That's
pressure
so good.
after you already got first blooded. That's such a good play for their lane.
Yeah, I mean that's really good. I mean now they're able to play this lane, shove a wave because as you see, King's Court they're on their duo buffs. They're gonna lose a wave to tower here. This is really
And they
good.
also lose the neutrals as well, and they have awards for heart showers. Like that turned out best case scenario for getting first blooded, in my opinion.
100%. Willix is playing the side of the map. Maybe she's gonna be looking to get a little bit more active on the side of the map. But again, Kepri he bought wards. He does not want to get ganked. He has a 30/30 prot item as his first item overall. That also helps you survive CC. And those wards coming in handy. Cryptus says, "Hey, they're here. Oh,
That
hey,
was
they
an
never left. Hey,
instantaneous nope. Oh, out of range for the
oh
ult, but it
no,
doesn't
oh
seem to
no,
matter.
Kepri.
No Kepri ult. Will he manage to get out? It does not look like
Still
it.
a
He
five, but
tries
Pele
to
is on
block.
the way. On her is in danger. You see the Kuzma ult come out, and Pele is getting active. Sends a torpedo, and great impale there, actually away. Pele gets knocked up from her own knockup. It's no CC buffering in this game. We're still going to see a turn kill on to the nah fam onto that Willix. Crib is looking to get active. Wants to try and chase this down. It's a 1-for-1, and Kuzma blinks away to safety. I don't hate it.
I was like, just backflip, just backflip, just backflip. What is the Wheelers doing? And then I looked at his mana bar. No mana at
Yeah.
all. None.
Yeah.
Zero. Zilch. Goose egg. Nothing. And
Yep. Nothing
what an
available there.
unfortunate time to run out of mana, man. That's one of those ginks that is a great idea, great execution, and it just gets unlucky. Sometimes it just gets unlucky. Sometimes it just goes wrong.
I mean, honestly, me personally, if I'm not fam there, I'm blaming my solo laner for not getting totem. Because surely if we have totem there, I have enough mana to backstep. So I think we just BM BB 6-9 and go
Call it a day.
next.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Game 3, here we come.
Unfortunate. Game 3.
F6. But yeah, no, I mean, again, I mean that itemization on Kepri, he changed it by the way. I guess we were going into prophetic. We've changed it
We
from the cloak
sold
of
the
concentration.
T2.
I mean, me personally, I think it was fine for everybody to go, to go that T2. They have a lot of CC. I think it could have paid dividends later, but Pele here in a little bit of a weird spot, going to try and use that knockup to go past that Sun Wukong. We don't see a bull form, use to knock up anyone there. It could have been very bad, but just gonna try and handshake both buff invades here. That you kind of want to get their own thing. But now we do see a successful invade coming off here, I believe.
It
I
looks
think
like it
the
was successful.
yeah, but now we see Pele get jumped here, an ultimate coming out, and we see Willis trying to chase in slowly after. Maybe another one here. But,
Oh,
oh yeah, I remember moving 55, clashing the wave, and Big Black Banana 6 is going to pick up the kill on a Veroxis.
all right. So I think that's just a question of biting off a tiny bit more than you can chew. Paleo was in their jungle. I don't know if it was the blue buff or the tiki that they were on, but they were in there like swimwear, and unfortunately they got burned for it.
I mean, again, like that pick's gonna open up the map for a BDK, and I guess Switty Sacks opened up the lane for a solo kill. We see DJL4 again doing a lot of what we saw in game one, taking it, taking that aggressive playstyle, to this duo lane, and I think
And
he's
it,
playing it very well. He's locked in this 1v1 character on her. It looks like he wants to get active in this lane.
absolutely, and it does look like he did have to extend beads, and it looks like Crib Assault was also kind of burned. It looks like both characters did end up using some utility there, but if you're DJ, that's worth, man. You just
I
unlock the
mean,
whole lane, push the wave under, get your farm for free. Nothing anyone can do about it.
exactly. I mean, this Kepri is going to probably be spending a little bit more time here in this duo lane. He rotates out, gets locked down pretty regularly. He's already 0-2. And this Charybdis seems to be struggling in this 1v1 matchup. Maybe we see a little bit more of this priority, come towards this duo lane in terms of support rotations. But this Kuzenbo, he's already built his full Thebes. He already has a small lead already in this kind of case. He had a stack item on about 2 waves before. And now this Prophetic on Kepri, I, I mean, I know how I
Not a
feel about it,
fan.
but I'm
Not
going to
a
let you
fan.
talk about it. Yeah.
All right, so prophetic is an interesting item. It's not a bad item. It's just not a perfect item. But speaking of things that aren't quite perfect, that's a great knockup. But unfortunately, the beads is not going to matter. That's going to be an alt done from on her. And it looks like we're still getting a little bit active in mid potentially. We'll see exactly what happens here. I do want to take a second to talk about the prophet. We get a chance to, but that's Apple out, and we're on gold free. We're going to forget about this prof cloak for a second.
Yeah, it seems like this Gold Fury is just kind of like the call of the day here. Again, a really good rotation from Nofam is going to be able to catch out Switty Sacks there, and then the Gold Fury is going to fall down for free. That's, again, one misstep led to BDK, another misstep leads to Gold Fury, and now that BDK is right on the horizon, it's about to spawn, I want to see who's going to be able to get there first.
And I want to kind of say, as a known Charybdis hater,
Oh? Oh?
the fadeaway auto gonna hit the wall, but Pele's still lurking. Pele knows that Kuzumbo's there, wants to kind of play a little bit slower. Doesn't look like we're gonna be able to provide any kind of pressure here. Scylla
Dash in,
dashes
maybe?
in.
Oh, and
Ooh,
then we turn around.
nice
Good
360.
turn. An amazing peel coming out there as well, but the Kepio is going to be given to this Pele seemingly for a chase, but they're going to disengage swiftly after. BDK is being looked at. That back harpy really got what it was coming to it, and now Kepri and Scylla are here on this BDK seemingly with no challenge
And it
and
looks like they're
seemingly
probably gonna need
no
off.
confirm.
I don't think they're gonna be able to do this.
Huh?
The Pele backing means that it's gonna take forever, and then Wukong can be there with ultimate. That's a good no call. I want to
Yes.
take a second to talk about Charybdis though as a character.
Hmm.
This is something that we've talked about on our King of the Hill team with a player who kind of liked the character. This is something that we've talked about in the past, just coaching wise. That character has two abilities, and then the
Yep.
character has two try not to die buttons.
Yep.
Like
100%.
it's an S key for 30 minutes and hope you get to team fight free cast character. And I'm not a fan of the character. I think it does provide some value. The prot shot is nuts. I think the
if we hit it.
Wave prio is nuts, but it's just a question of what are you doing if it doesn't work out perfectly for you, and the answer is not a whole lot.
I mean, it seems like while the Charybdis is not
Oh
doing a whole lot,
no.
it seems like their team's getting active doing this BTK, but Willix is here and they're getting active. The knockup's not going to be good, but it seems like the pressure is going to be good. Discordia ult is going to be flying past, and the Scylla dash does get expended. Disco is going to dodge a lot of the damage, and Pele is full sending it. But Kuzenbo's here to push them into tower. Scylla is a monster, finds that monster, finds the fade away, and confirms Derpy baits by putting them back to base. Fantastic fight there.
Who this man said put me on the starting roster. What a snipe
Woo!
with the I'm a monster. Great
Godzilla
play,
is
but can
making
they
a
get anything
case.
off of it? Can they get
Yeah,
anything
no,
off
again,
of it?
that's
Are they going to
great.
look for these buffs?
I mean, we hope so. I mean, we see Kepri rotating to this duo side as well. This Charybdis, again, this character with, two trying not to die buttons, who is about 2 levels down, is trying to find whatever pressure they can. They're getting the shield camp yet again, but, they're really, losing a lot of their farm here as well. But there's really not a lot on the map here. I think the next big fight we're going to get here is probably around Beacon.
Yeah, potentially. I'd be shocked if the beacon was too heavily contested unless Ivory Macaron can manage a rotation. He is a level up, or at least a half level up. He does have a tank item comparatively to the Jotun's Vigor, but
Yeah, and it
I
seems like Willis is
don't
still
love
getting
it.
active.
He hasn't spent money recently.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, I mean, Nata Willis is just barely short of her combo to try and confirm that shock, getting into the grayscale as well. So if I remember when 55 dies there, I'm pretty sure they don't have a great chance of contesting that beacon. But Ivory Macaroon is going to TP back to this tower, and it seems like he
Ah.
has the Avengers. They've assembled onto his blue buff. They're making sure he gets his farm.
And I want to take a second to talk about Pele as a character. Pele is a W key boxing, trading, hunting bully. And if
Oh yeah.
you rush Soul Eater on the character, you should pick a different character. It
I
is
mean, yeah, I
not
mean, true.
good.
It,
Talk
it
to
could just
any
be
of the
Jotun.
pros. Talk to any of
It
the
could
pros.
just be
You build
Jotun.
Jotuns. You can build Soul Eater second if you really want it.
Oh,
Oh,
here we
there's
go.
a jump in. There's a pre-ult.
E-
What are we going to be able to do here? Are we going to chase it out? We do look to chase it out, but Karib just
It's
walking in a
almost
straight
good.
line,
Pele's
and
right
someone
here.
else is
Pele's
here.
right here.
Pele's here. Good push.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, amazing knockback right there. It's going to be barely good enough. Good Aegis, but can we space it out? Nah, barely not enough. DJ tried his best there, but the minions are fighting for their life. The archers are trying to put this Pele in the dirt, and this beacon's going to be up in 8 seconds. A great gank off of that Pele rotation there is going to put the Hunter on the King's Court side, back into the base, and you're going to see this priority now be shifted towards the hard showers for this beacon fight.
And for what it's worth, that is why he went double lifesteal. That
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Oh
That
yeah.
is why he did that. There is a valid reason for doing so. I just think the character needs more WQ than that. I think the character doesn't want to scale a Soul Eater. I think the character wants to be just super, super, super aggressive. And speaking of super, super aggressive, this Kurtis has already started a gold for you. There's no vision from the red side. Is Kuzumo going to sniff this out?
I mean, Kuzenbo has no ultimate
No
for a
one
little bit.
else
He
is
does have
here.
the blink, but there's 4 people here. Capri's here to face check this. I don't think they're really concerned at all about this Kuzenbo. The blink has been stopped. Scylla has the crush and the ult on the ground. Heart shorts are going to confirm that, and Kuzenbo
Will they be
might
able
be
to
the
get
next
the
target. Can
pick?
we pluck him? Disco Apple does find a target onto the Scylla there, I believe. Yes, and the health bars is going to be good enough, but now we see on her, leaping
Oh!
in, a great knock up there. Charybdis is trying to scatter around. Kuzumo is going to break dance onto the floor, using that CC immunity, and Pele is going to try and get active here. A great blink is going to keep them in safety, and
Blink
Kuzumo
after
is going to
blink
get a
after
beat as
blink.
well out of that Pele.
And that was just absolute chaos. That's what we come to Midgard for, baby. We
Oh
are
yeah.
in there. We are out of there. We are in there. We are out of there. Blink after blink after beads after alt, and we are getting active. Still, it takes a lot of poke, a level down or so, getting kind of corner camped a little bit, but it's going to be interesting to kind of see the difference. I wonder if this Disco is going to kind of have the same build again, where they go 4th item, Tablet of
Tablet.
Destinies, into
Yeah.
5th item, Typhons with no other
Oh yeah.
lifesteal. I don't know if you noticed that last game, but it was something that I was like, we didn't really ever get a chance to talk about it. It's not the end of the world, but like, big Obshard believer here,
Oh yeah.
big
100%.
Shard believer.
100%. I mean, if they go like even like a Bancrofts into the Typhoons, like I okay, like I get it. So I'm thinking like, why tablet? If you're gonna go
Why
Typhoons,
tablet
it's
fourth?
odd. Yeah,
Yeah,
why
it's
tablet
interesting.
4th? If you want tablet, why are you building pen? I guess. I mean, who knows? It's fine. It's interesting. It's Midgard,
Yeah.
and we're here to have fun. It is what it is. And speaking about having fun, this Kepri is not having a lot of fun. He has 4 prophetic stacks and 6 thief stacks.
But he's scaling infinitely, man. And I do want to say
Ooh.
that he did hit level 11 before The Kuzenbo hit level 11. Kuzenbo just getting level 11 off this last wave. Looks like a little bit of dance here on the last BDK, potentially this Bull Demon
A
King, the
fight
last
could
bit of
definitely
prio.
break out here. Shock does have the priority. Can he get a good ultimate off here? He's going to get shoved into a locker here, and Pele's going to find a good knockup and gets pulled by this Willis ult. We see the Aegis come out on this Pele. A good ult from Discord. He's going to dissuade this Pele from diving, and an amazing Capriel to keep them alive. And the fight's not over yet. We see Scylla whipping that one ability, but the Crushers is going to be good onto the Kuzubo. Wukong finds his way into the air, and Shock is using his vision. He's rain dancing around, keeping his priority, and Willis is life stealing up, just kind of barely confirming that speed, and it looks like they're going to try and reset back to base. It just seems like we just said hello there on that BDK.
I think a lot more words were said than hello, but nothing ended up happening of substance. So it's interesting.
Ooh.
Both characters missing a little bit there. Ultimate expended. Is there going to be a jump
Oh,
here?
this
The
could be it.
pre-beads, the jump,
Oh,
and Charybdis hits the dirt.
oh, that's just filthy. That's
That's just
actually
an
just
item
outplayed.
difference. That's just an item difference.
I mean, that's just outplayed. I mean, we
Yeah.
have Demon Blade. We have Demon Blade on this on her. He is itemizing into this crit here as well. We have Keen Blade. It's going to be a kin size. Going to be out of this Charybdis. She's aiming to be a little bit more tank shreddy. Again, I don't hate the crit angle out of this honor. He's been 1v1ing a lot.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked Rage more because Rage is OP. But again,
I
like
think
the
it's the
crit
only
angle is
way
not
he really punishes the Pele for going into. If he wants to take a 1v1, I don't think you ever 1v1 a Pele without crit as an ADC.
I
Really.
agree. I agree, and it seems like this Willix is wrapping around this Pele, might be in a very, very bad spot. But we see the Willix pinch between this Capri, a good knock up here. A Pele's going to use that ultimate out, and now the Kuzumo's using his ult to create that space. Oh, Willix gets the ult off the Kuzumo, but the
What a
pluck is
pluck!
huge, and the
Quick
apple from
strike!
downtown, the apple from downtown, and the Scylla Crush is barely not
Oh,
enough. But can Capri confirm the
does
kill?
Capri get
Can
it? Does
the
Capri get it?
blink is good. The blink is good, and the Capri is not good. He is out. He's back into the base, and a Willix lives 1 HP, maybe 12 HP for being generous.
And again, this is something that we talked about last game a little bit. Not probably not enough, but a little bit. Wait, did Discordia just blink?
Uh,
That's not what we
mm,
talked about last game, but I'm pretty sure I just said
uh,
Discordia blink.
Discordia did blink. Discordia did blink.
um,
Oh, but we're getting active yet again. I
Non-stop action here in RSL Midgard, ladies and gentlemen. We are in there like swimwear, and we've got objectives to do. Why stop? We used our blinks, we used our ults, we used our push, and we've got objectives to do.
I love it. I mean, again, like King's Court, namely last game, they were super, super active. They were very proactive on taking these objectives. That has not stopped this game. But you see, Hard Showers, they're not giving this for free
No one
anymore.
else is
Yes,
here.
a
No
team
one
fight
else
is
is here.
happening. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but Shock stalling them. You see this Gold Fury. You see 4 people on this Gold Fury, and Shock
On
stalling
her?
4 people by himself. Can On Her steal it? Is that going to be the play? Casilla has to confirm here. Hard Showers do confirm the Oni Fury. Capri is getting poked out. The ultimate gets forced. And now we see Wukong rotating in slightly late, but this is a really good fight if Wukong can get a good engagement off here. We see the blink, we see the one. Do we see a good knock up here out of the Pele
Good
to space it
route.
out for him? And Pele's going to get active here into this backline. DJ goes down. The Scylla Crush is
Oh.
barely late there, but the Wukong does end up surviving this. But Disco's not going to let this fight go. She's hunting for this Pele, but Shock's hunting for the Disco. Scylla ult off the mark, but Wukong, like a bolt to the races, is out of this fight. And now we see Shock just face checking everything. Charybdis gets active here, pushing away this Kuzenbo, and now I think we're finally gonna get a taste of a disengage. Please prove me wrong. Oh, Willis leaps away. Now we're
Nah,
disengaging.
fam.
Now we're good.
Nah.
Now we're chilling. Now we can all take a deep breath. Now this beacon is gonna get good. Now the beacon's gonna get looked at here. The midway's gonna get claimed by Shock, and it seems like DJ on this honor is doubling down onto the crit angle. He goes a boomerang. It's just a really interesting crit item out of this honor. How do you feel about it?
It's interesting. I don't think it's bad. I don't think you can be 3 levels up at one point and build like objectively incorrectly. But
Uh-huh.
it's to me it says a lot about not really relying on the stacks and a lot more about I want the moon suit, I want the crit chance from the drops. I want to play around the if I'm gonna win harder. Haley
Uh-huh.
looking to win harder, speaking of, but she's all alone on the flank on the right side. But yeah, it's an interesting item. I'm curious to see why we're looking for things. There's no pyro, there's no gold, there's no beacon. Why are we being aggressive here? Is it just inting for prof stacks?
But Glacier, fire giants up. Surely we get active. When you're gonna see a gank here, we are gonna speak about getting active here. Shock gets a nice ultimate off to silence out the
Helio,
escape, and
Helio,
Pele is
Helio,
full committing here as well.
why are
And
we
Wukong
leaving?
does get the ultimate off barely. Unfortunate there, but you do spend 2 ultimates
Surely
to
this
try
is a
and
free
confirm
tower.
this tower. Yeah,
You know,
again, I think
that's
this
my
tower
fault.
should be free. I think
I
this tower
said no
should be
objectives.
free.
They said prove me wrong.
Yeah, and we see a scrap happening in mid lane. Kepri's gonna go down. The ultimate did get used, but we see this 0-5 and 0 style on this Kepri. Again, it's just having a really rough time just
Ooh.
being able to, live. We see these prophetic stacks still sitting at 11. We still see less than 30 stacks on this Thieves. This Kepri's not tanky right now.
I'm gonna be honest, as someone who has thrown one of your pickup scrim recently,
Oh,
not
yeah.
having a gauntlet stacked at 20 minutes feels really freaking bad. Really bad.
Nah, I mean, again, like this Kepri, he's just, he's not very tanky. He's the only frontliner here in these mid fights. And the enemy team is punishing this. This Willix does end up using the ultimate. Still a good beads midair to try and live that and dash to the way to safety. That is going to be the beads, and you're going to be trading that for the Willix's blink and ultimate. So you don't hate that trade, but if I'm a Willix, I'm pretty happy with it. That's a whole backline that cannot step up for the next objective that my teammates are going to try and pull.
And Heart Shorts have been playing this a lot better than they did last game, but I
Yeah.
do want to point out, even with how well they've been splitting the map, even with how well they've kind of been responding to things, this Honor is level 20 before 20 minutes hits.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to be impactful. I think he's got 2 crit items. He can go finish his Death's Temper whenever he wants to, whenever he gets the gold for it. He might be doing that right now. Who knows? But it's going to be rough to play into this. Yeah, he does finish it. It's going to be rough to play into this Fed on her unless the Chalk can create enough chaos. And this Chalk, as active as he's been, as much space as he's created, as much time as he's wasted, 0, 0, 0. Ivory Macaroon has to make something happen with this Pele. Pele and him have to play together, and they have to get a team fight going. So far, it's been a lot of fights. It's been a lot of farm. It's been a lot of chill. The time for chill is over.
I mean, on the bright side, we do see Ivory Macaroon. He's up a level. No kills have been impacted by him at all, but he does have a Spectral. We see King's Court getting very, very active here on this objective. The Carmen is going to get done, and Shock is going to be in by himself. He's getting auto attacked for so much. He just needs a little bit of help. He's not dying very quickly. Willix is going to lock him down. Still is going to get a good ultimate off, and Kepri ult to try and keep him alive. Can he live? Can he run? Can he survive?
What are you doing?
Please die anything. He's dead,
No!
but it doesn't matter. We're trading 1 for 1. DJ's finally down. The raid boss is down. Scylla's free casting. This Wukong clone really got what was coming to it, and Verox is trying to get active. A Kepri root is going to be good, and the root's barely off the mark, and we see them both just group up there. Pele gets knocked, and a good Tiger Sun's gonna keep them a pace away. Pele trying to just zoom away here, trying to live. We see a blink, we see Discordia blink into Scylla Aegis. It doesn't even matter because Derby's gonna end up dying. Charybdis gets a great fight off here as well. We traded a lot of resources for a 2 for 2, and I guess a bomb in terms of King's Court. But now your support can't buy wards. That's some Kaizo kind of gameplay.
Who needs wards? You know where they are. You know where they're. You're better. You're better. You don't need wards. 3-0 and 5. This Kuzo is putting in a shift. I gotta say, not a mystical believer, not a mystical lover, but he is getting in there. He's got his Warbanner starter finish. He's got his Pestilence online, and I do think it's a little bit interesting going for the Pestilence over Contagion, realizing that you do need a little bit of magic defense, but you also need the anti-heal, and it'll be interesting to see if that keeps him alive and provides enough anti-heal at the same time, because I don't really know how much Roxas is hitting this Kuzenbo.
I don't know if I love this pull here because Kurtz is being threatened here. This Primal Fury is going to be very, very low. Still, it's going to be in her ultimate, but I just would love to see them fight here. The red team is going to try and confirm it. Heartshores will end up confirming the objective here. The blue team is ready to fight. Paley's ulting out. Kepri has no more movement abilities left. But again, Will's going to catch a lot of damage, and Ivory Macaroon's getting active. The beads is going to be good into that leap. Will ends up beating that CC to try and get out. Again, great zoning potential from Ivory Macaroon. But now this beacon's basically a foregone conclusion. You've spent 4 ultimates to confirm that Gold Fury. I think that's going to be King Court's beacon to try and claim.
Not only that, but it does look like this Pele is kind of opting into a tank build after going double lifesteal. I'm gonna be as straightforward and honest as possible. I think everything good you did for yourself, you are undoing for yourself with your choices.
Yes, I mean, again, like this Kepri being
so much pressure, you had so much priority. This Kepri, just like you're about to say, what do you do with the tank build though?
Well, this Kepri is now finishing up his stacks. He's at 41 stacks on the Thebes. We're about halfway there on the Prophetic. But again, this Kepri is scaling. He will be obscenely tanky when a breastplate. He's going to have 30% CDR with his Prophetic and this breastplate stacked fully. He did also opt to go into a Beats for a second relic. He doesn't want to be in a Willix pull target. He doesn't want to end up getting spaced out from his team. And Ivory Macaroon is still level 19. He's going to probably be the next level 20 on his team unless Scylla just power farms a midwave. Heartshores don't have an awful fight here. The game is basically even. You're down six kills to 12, but you don't hate that. As
It's
long as you have a
only
really
like
good
a
team fight in
1,000
here, you
gold
can win the
difference
game.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, Hardshores have done a fantastic job stemming the bleeding. They've played this game infinitely better than what they did in the last game. But all they need to do now is execute this. And they need to have one good team fight, and then they are in the driver's seat. They just need to just not let go of the momentum that they have playing for them right now. I don't know if they can get something good going here.
I don't
Let's
know if
see.
I'm trying to pull this in front of the entire enemy team. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm looking for picks. I think I'm looking for plays. I think I'm pushing waves. I think I'm looking at towers. I don't know if Fire Giant's on the menu yet.
I think Fire Giant's probably not on the menu. Maybe a Pyromancer should be. But again, I mean, namely, these team fights need to be like the name of the game here. Your Khepri, level 14, but he has a great ultimate to play around with. Maybe put this Khepri towards the wave so we can finish stacking that Thebes. Finally, we're 25 minutes in, please. This Shock needs to also hit that level 20 as well. Again, he wants to get active. He's super, super tanky, but only when he gets that redstone built. Pele's not going to be able to take a ton of poke here. She has a lot of life steal, so I guess she can sustain it. She's also very tanky, but Shock is in
Is
right now.
up.
He's
Shock's
trying to dive
going.
into 2 to 3 people, and now this Charybdis is going to end up putting Discordia down to the dirt. This might be their chance. Shock is going to get that ultimate off, and Pele is going to be fighting for her life. She can't trade out. Again, that's what that defense is going to do for you. But now can Shock put someone down? Khepri, OP,
Three
gets a
man
kill.
back up.
And now we see a shell here. They need to make this fight matter. They need to make this fight count on her. It's basically free casting. He's going to leap away from the wall here. It's going from bad to worse. Scylla gets his ultimate cast off and hits a tank with the Khepri plucking for just a little bit more space created. But now again, on her backing the base. Scylla casting over this wall, but Khepri having to burn that beads. And now Scylla just trying to get a little bit more peel off. The fight didn't go horribly, but it definitely could have gone better.
And I think that's just a question of how split things got. Why is my Pele 1v3 when my Chalk's 1v1ing a tank? Right?
I mean,
I think
true.
we just need to switch roles. We just need to say solo inter play solo, jungle play jungle, stick together a little bit more, talk a little bit more. But the main thing there is with this tanky build, I wonder if we're gonna go into health or if we're gonna go into a little bit more damage, like maybe a Brawler's Crush or Titan's Heartseeker, or if we're just gonna go into more straight prot for the protector. It's gonna be really interesting to me what this Pele does to end the game because both games now have been very, very unorthodox builds. But hey, I mean, if we go to a game 3, if it works, it works.
Yeah, speaking about unorthodox, we do see this tablet picked up in 4th slot for this Discordia yet again. Again, I mean, they won game 1 with it. You know, you're not going to be mad at results, you know, whenever you get them. But, you know, I don't
Honor
know how
could
we're
be in
doing
trouble
this.
here. Honor could
Honor
be in
could
trouble
get
here if he
fished out
doesn't spot
here.
it.
Let's say Kepri's going to get into the pit. That's going to basically just kind of dissuade this Gold Fury from being done. He's going to be calling out this Cryptus and Khepri.
That
This is
should be a
also going
free
to mean that
pyro.
King's Court are going to be able to pull out this Pyromancer. Unless Scylla wants to try and play for a steal, throw that crush onto the objective, and try to get active. It's a solid steal chance, but someone's going to try and fish it out. We see the target on. It can be a really good engage here.
And Scylla has to dash away. Pele has already ulted in. Pele does not have any more tools to get out. Pele now getting surrounded,
Let's get active
taunted,
here.
gone. Nafam with the pickup there. And it looks like TKC will steal the Gold Fury on her leaps in
Oh.
1v2. And he is not afraid of anything with this crit. Khepri probably going to go down pretty soon here. Looks like Crib just got pulled back with the res. And that should be that Fire Giant unlock that we talked about when needing earlier.
I think that just I think we were and the surrender vote has been started. Oh no.
That's such a tilter, man.
Ooh, I mean, again, like you lose Oni Fury, you know, your jungler who's building full defense gets caught out, you know, and they just don't get a lot of follow up there. And then again, like now you're dropping what one, two, maybe 3 bombs onto
Ooh,
this
what a
Fire
good
Giant, but
iframe.
Shock is here. Shock is trying to zone. He's making a lot of space here. This Discordia is very, very uncomfortable. He's basically just solo holding this game together. Kuzumbo is down into the dirt. He's trying to walk away. Disco's casting. He's stalling them out. He single-handedly has kept this team off the Fire Giant, but will it be enough?
I don't think so. I think they can get right back on it. Wukong has a big health bar. Now, does the tank have to back? Yes, but they can at least go for Pyro here, if not anything else, because Oni waves are shoving every single lane.
I mean, they didn't pick up the fire. They go for the Pyromancer. It looks like they're just going to safely play Pyro Beacon here, and that gives Heartshowers a chance to manage these Oni waves. Again, great play by Ivory Macaroon 55 there to stall out the game, because if that Fire Giant goes the way of King's Court, I'm pretty sure we're not talking about a game 3 anymore.
No, and with that being said, I still think it's a little bit Kingsport in the driver's seat, similar to how it was last game. But we saw that they can make mistakes. We saw that they are fallible. It's just a question of forcing those mistakes and not overcommitting, not getting 1v2, not losing your entire health bar to a Gold Fury and then getting like jumped in on. It's just a question of like, can we work together 5% better, 10% better? Can we get 15% more information before we start the next fight? We've got a good amount of words from blue side, but they're all in our side of the jungle. We've got a great amount of words from red side in the enemy side of the jungle. It'll be interesting to see who is the aggressive team on this Fire Giant. And it looks like the Protector is finished for Pele, so no idea whether she's going into health, power, more prot. Pridman being worked on for Chalk. Looks like a little bit of damage being worked on for the Sun Wukong, which I do not hate. He's not died yet. Kind of abusing the Wukong build, if you will. It's interesting how much that goes in and out of the meta without changes to the items. It's just people get bored of playing it, people come back to it. What is your opinion on this Sun Wukong as not necessarily as a character, but as like a place in a meta?
I mean, I like it, especially like, in a draft league where the coordination in these early weeks really might not be there yet to handle this character's dive. It might be very, very difficult for some teams to kind of, deal with. You
Mhm.
get some great sustain, has some good damage. You can itemize a little bit more damagey as well. So I mean, if that's kind of like the player's playstyle, I like that pick here. One pick I also really like here that we're not seeing a ton in this meta. It's the Scylla pick. I mean, like a lot of players, again, that coordination in the draft league really might not be here around these objectives yet. And so all it's going to take for this EFG fight to go really poorly for the King's Court is a single good Scylla team fight.
But they have started to pull this. They have two people on the left side flanking. Their
That Fire
squishies are
Giant's
pulling
burning. It's
back a little
getting
bit.
kind of
Fire Giant
crazy.
is burning. There's 3 crit items on the
It's
side of
about
this
half.
guy.
They're making the choice now. The Disco Apple does find the Kepri. It is going to catch. He's going to space away from this team. But can Ivory
Oh,
Backer Spoon,
Scylla's an
can he
ult. Scylla's
blink
an
in and make
ult.
a play? You need to aim to steal this Fire Giant right now. Veroxis makes one pick. Scylla
Oh!
mistimes the ultimate, and King's Court secures the FG. But that's not going to be all she wrote for this team fight. We're going to see them chase down. We're going to see Pele trying to get active here as well. We're going to see Shaka trying to chase this fight down. And that's not going to be the chase that they want. Again, Roxas makes a great pick there. A Willix does end up
Oh,
dying.
buddy,
That
Scylla. I don't know
that
if
was
you can
so
be in
fresh.
shop
But
right
now
now.
Scylla is now just here. We see Wukong, he's Tiger Sun in. Maybe this is another good pick that you can end up getting here. Again, there's no ultimate here available for the Wukong. He's in no man's land. He's gonna need someone to bail him out. And it looks like the
Oh!
Capri Pluck is off the mark, and he's gonna make it out here. Kuzenbo Dash is also still off the mark. We're gonna see abilities flying left and right, and Wukong
What a good
makes
dash.
out like a bandit.
What a good dash. Came up just in the nick of time. The Kepri just barely missing the pluck abduct. And it was just enough to get this Wukong out of jail free. You gotta protect the KD, man. You gotta go back. You gotta get that Heartseeker. And he is still the only person to go deathless on this King's Court side. I wonder who dies first. Do you think the Scylla dies first or the Wukong? If one of them
I
dies before the game ends.
I think it's going to be the Scylla. I think this EFG Wukong is going to be a very, very large threat on this backline. The Scylla's relics are still down for 70. As long as King's Court press the issue, then they should be in the driver's seat for a while. But this Scylla won't be able to answer back a lot of this dive.
Yeah.
It seems like this Primal Fury is going to be getting looked at here. We do see Pele lurking around. I don't think they want to give it for free. Pele might try to make a
But is
hero
there
play
anyone else
here.
here yet?
Yeah, I mean, like they're showing, they realize that no one's really local. They just kind of have to give the objective here. Now you're playing under birds, and you have EFG, but now we see the Shock. He is just kind of span out, on that XP camp, trying to get those chests. He's gonna make it back to his T2 safely. That T2 is not gonna have a long, shelf life, but it's gonna end up going back to base nonetheless.
And this is going to be interesting to see how aggressive we push. We got a Bancroft rather than a Typhons this game on the side of this
Interesting.
Disco. And then on the other side, it's really interesting to me that we only have 10% pen on the Scylla. Scylla's a character that can get, what, 80% pen on one ability if you get your
Yeah, it's up
shard
there.
and your other
It's up
20%
there.
and your 2. It's really,
Yeah.
really, really nuts. You can just do true damage. But only building one 10% pen item, I'm not sure that I love the Soul Gem Reaver that early. That's just a personal preference. I don't think that's a correct question of right versus wrong because they are doing numbies. But it's interesting to me to see the difference in build paths in terms of like, I'm going to survive a little bit more. I'm going to do more chip damage rather than just one shot someone. And Pyro does go down. Does anyone get the bomb? Okay, we get it.
Yep, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think with EFG and you have 3 bombs that deal true damage to your birds, this is gonna be a really hard defense for you to do. But because again, this fire jump's about halfway over already. We have maybe another, 90 seconds on it if they, really want to press the issue here. Again, they're waiting for beacon. I don't like them waiting this beacon timer down. Like, again, it's just killing time on this EFG. All it takes for Hard Shores to have one good defense and turn this game right around.
And One thing I do kind of want to talk about with this map, this map that came out, the map is long enough and wide enough that it is pretty hard to just end off of one thrown team fight. I remember the last map we had a lot of complaints about, well, you just
Oh yeah.
farm, 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 try not to lose, try not to lose, try not to lose, and then you get lucky one time and you just win the game for free. So it is something that they're gonna have to chip their way back into. It's not gonna be free if they get one good defense, but if they get that good defense, it's gonna be a step in the right direction. It's gonna be a step on the right path, and it looks like that right path starts now.
It
Footsteps
seems like
creeping towards.
it seems like they really want to make something happen here. They have a couple seconds left on the siege, and it seems like the fight's going to break out here as well. The Khepri getting a lot of this damage out, and Pele's going to end up trying to find her path into the backline, but Kuzenbo is going to be able to respond. A fantastic Charybdis ult is going to stun a lot of these backliners here. Pele does get the revive here. Khepri's going to end up trying to keep that Pele safe, but it does not matter. Disco finds a
Oh,
super
derpy.
strong combo into the front of that bird, and Kuzenbo is running it down, forcing Scylla out back
This
to base,
could
and
just be
Khepri,
game.
with nothing to say for it, is going to end up
Oh,
going back into the grayscale. Scylla gets a great pick here, and Michigan needs to find one more. A great blink out of the Discordia, and a fantastic dash back into the fountain. This game is not over yet. There's still some fight left in the Heart Showers.
and I do want to say, with this chalk zoning the Wheelish away, it is impactful because they don't have that frontline presence with the Pele one more time, with Heart Shores being on two separate pages. Do you think that someone else could have zoned? Do you think they should have tried to take a fight before? Or do you think what they did was correct, where they said we can't just give up a bird for free?
I I mean honestly, you know, they had 3 bombs. They burned 3 bombs. You lost 2 birds
It
because
is
you
what
lost the
it
fight.
is.
I think you should just like play to win the fight at this point.
Yeah.
You know, you have a really good team fight comp. Discilla had a really good moment there in that fight. Almost had a double kill if Disco didn't have Blink. You know, so
That's criminal.
I mean, I think the correct play there maybe would have been to just try to like all in a fight on left or mid, just take a fight somewhere, and then now because because they waited so long to siege those birds, that EFG wore right off, and now EFG's back up. So if you win that team fight, maybe you lose 2 birds. But if you kill 3 or 4 of those members on King's Court, then the Heart Showers are the ones pulling this Fire Giant right now.
Now it's going to be really interesting to see how patient TKC is going to be able to be here, because a lot of these players in this level really like pushing the objective, pushing the envelope, but there's fireways in 2 lanes. You can just stand here and just wait. They're going to have to back eventually. So already Pele's off the map doing just that same thing in mid, but it looks like EFG has been pulled about 75 HP and a fight is starting.
It is burning quickly. Again, it's not. It's all hope is not lost. If this Scylla can get into the pit, then they can try and steal. Disco is throwing that ult downtown. Shock is trying to disrupt whatever they can. Varox is trying to dive this backline as well on her, being checked. And Kingsword are going to clean up this EFG. Kuzenbo spacing it out to make sure this backline is able to free cast. Charybdis making sure that this Discordia is not being able to cast for free, and Scylla dashing in, but one life after another, falling down back to the fountain. Godzilla ending up less than half HP. They're on the retreat here now as well. A blink ends up coming out. Scylla picks up a kill here, but then again, this Scylla has to be forced back to run back to this base. Disco is waiting in tow and ends up clipping Mr. Godzilla, and now the game's just a foregone conclusion
I
here.
think
We
that
see
might be
Veraxis
accurate.
versus the world. Fire Giants, Fire Minions, EFG on 4. Can he make a miracle happen? Aegis gets popped. Kuzenbo shoves him into a locker, and the beads are expended. He's trying to find some damage on this honor. He just cannot find the last auto he needs. The crits are good. The Titan's in the bag, and the game is over. A nice, swift, kind of decisive looking. Game 2 goes to the King's Court.
And what a good, solid, clean set from them. It was a lot closer that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
But they never had a moment where they felt like they were completely out of control. They stayed in the driver's seat. They played the way they wanted to play, and it worked, man. I think there's a lot of questionable itemization choices. I think there's a little bit of hee hee ha ha going on. But with that being said, as a team, great job.
Yeah. I mean, again, like singing the praises of, but first of all, let's just talk about the King's Court here. I think Notfam had a great jungle game. His stat line's not going to be showing the amount of pressure he put on the map. Derby Bates going back to this Discordia with this intriguing build, to say the least. This very intriguing build. But DJ, I think from the beginning of game 1 to the end of game 2, looked super, super dominant in this duo lane, just constantly taking those 1v1 fights, opening up the map for his team to just do whatever objective they really wanted to do. Bluey 5-1-15 on this Kuzenbo. We saw it in the beginning. We knew it was gonna make a lot of space. He did 16k damage, more than the jungler. just getting active there. And again, undying. So I guess my bet was right. The Wukong did not die and the Scylla did die. So, but again, Heart Showers, they showed a lot of promise there. Just a couple mistakes, especially in game two, just a couple small errors in some team fights, end up letting that game get away from them. Game one was a lot more, we got blown out by 10K. Maybe we just go to game two. But that game two, if that Fire Giant gets stolen, if one team fight goes slightly differently, if a relic gets popped where it didn't get popped, then maybe we're talking about a game three right now. If I'm
Yeah.
Heart Showers, I'm holding my head held high and I'm saying, hey guys, let's get back to scrimming, let's work on some stuff, and let's learn from what we just had happen to us.
Yeah, I do think genuinely for heart shows, it's just a question of comms. It's just a question of awareness, and it's just a question of, hey, let's learn from a VOD or two here. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's make sure we get our basics down, and then we'll be able to execute the more high level stuff. Because I do think some of the basics were a little bit missing, and that was exploited. But at the end of the day, overall, that was a good showing. Just not all the pieces fitting into the puzzle.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's gonna be the set. That's gonna be a 2-0 in favor of King's Court here over Heart Showers. Thank you all at home for joining us. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I've been Lament. It's my new name. Wait, I gotta get used to that. I've
Wait,
been
that's
Lament.
been
I've been
weird.
here with Glacier here with Ruler of Men on production, the GOAT, and we will be here right back again with you guys on the next show, on the next time that we cast. I'll catch you all later.